biocentric egalitarianism. Remember that? We first encountered biocentric egalitarianism in the work of Schweitzer, right? Schweitzer? Even though he never identified that way. But that's kind of that's what he was getting at, right? So Schweitzer was an early biocentric egalitarian. The late blooming biocentric egalitarians are in the deep ecology movement, by the way. So we're going to get into a lot more biocentric egalitarianism when we encounter deep ecology next week. All right? Second, universal consideration gives us a principled way to begin to practice the ecological feminist concern. Okay, so the ecofeminists are going to be happy with this thesis of universal consideration too. Because ecofeminists are concerned to make a central place for values of care, love, friendship, trust, and appropriate reciprocity, okay, which require approaching others with loving perception. All right? The third consequence of establishing universal consideration is that it is required, universal consideration requires, and this is on page 331, and is required by the preservation of the whole, and thus of most of what goes to compose the whole. Okay? It is because fully practicing a generosity of spirit toward all others does seem to require a commitment to preserving them. All right? Preservation is required because the non-human natural world is necessary for the possibility of giving consideration, right? So if you want to give consideration to consideration, right? Which is what we're about as human animals, we consider things. We have respect. We have deep respect for things, right? And if you want to give consideration to consideration, then you have to be interested and concerned about all the conditions which give birth to consideration, right? To deontic experience, right? So that gives us our normative guidelines, right? We have to protect all the potential sources of deontic experience, all right? All right. Preservation is required because the non-human natural world is necessary for the possibility of giving consideration, okay? There has to be something to attend to. If there's nothing to attend to, if we've completely demolished the natural world, then, then we're talking about a Mad Max world and just a war of all against all, right? And it's just toast. Right? We have to have something to attend to. We have to have salmon to care about. Okay, that's what he's saying here. Anyway, so we should have an Others Day as well as a Mother's Day. To care about all these others and to include them. Right? Because everything is morally considerable. And ultimately, there are no others. All right? So the ultimate goal of celebrating Others Day is to eliminate the idea that there are any others. All right? So have a beautiful weekend, everybody. And look forward to deep ecology next week. All right, thank you for your patience.
Like everyone we've read has had some kind of deontic experience that shapes their whole. They're not.
Tell me your name again? Warren Reed, yeah. I really like your summaries. You don't have a stapler, huh? You always use that little twisty thing.
I can find it.
No, don't worry about it. I like that. But yeah, they do, Actually, one of the most amazing narratives about that is by Val Plumwood, who's this Australian ecofeminist. And she has this essay about being attacked and grabbed by a crocodile, a salty, in Australia.
Oh, wow.
She was rafting, she was canoeing or something, and this crocodile got a hold of her and had her by the legs, it had half of her body, anyway. And she describes she writes about the experience of being prey, anyway, and that changed her life, so.
That's funny, because I wrote about, my conclusion, I wrote about surfers and,
surfers and sharks?
Getting connected. Well, I mentioned dolphins, but not not the, you know, the opposite end of that is, you know, the fear, not like the fear of God, but like the fear of like the awesomeness of it is
The German,
is just as, can be just as powerful as like the, you know, the beauty, like
Absolutely.
sure, you know, it's great swimming with dolphins, like that's pretty, they're cute animals or whatever, but like
yeah.
you could have maybe the same experience of like the awesomeness of the ocean being almost eaten by a shark or a crocodile.
Schweizer's the reverence for life in German is Ehrfurcht vor dem Leben, and that term Ehrfurcht is not directly translated as reverence. And Ehrfurcht in German does have that connotation of fear. And you know, whoa, man, that's really powerful, and I better watch out.
Because what Schweitzer,
that's what you're describing.
his deontic experience was what, mostly like in Africa, working with, or you know, possibly. What, and then, you know, Wilson has a bunch of the, like he talked about his like experience with like different species, like intelligent species.
Wilson was just crazy. I'm amazed he even survived. When he was a kid, he'd go around catching poisonous snakes.
Right.
That's what he loved to do when he was a kid. And he describes catching this one that's bigger than his arm. You know, and it almost got him too. And then he dropped it.
Yeah, it's almost at that point. It's almost better to be naive of the.
But anyway, yeah, that's an important point, though. You know that the awesomeness and the fear, you know, of nature is part of, you know, and we can't just think that we're all in harmony with everything. You know, there's always a.
Yeah, like I mean, Schweitzer even says it like that nature doesn't really consider it's like doesn't really care like who lives or dies. It's just the flow.
Yeah.
I don't know quite how to put it, but
Yeah. All right, I'll see you later, man.
thanks.
So I got a few of the summaries, and I was wondering.
What's your name?
Caitlin.
You're Caitlin?
Yeah.
What's your last name?
Romike?
Oh, Romike, yeah. Okay, oh, you didn't do your last two summaries?
Yeah.
You didn't do them at all? Just turn them in late, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you did all right on the midterm. Probably could have done better.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn in those late summaries and I'll give you credit for them.
Thanks.
Sure.